that many judges are reluctant to take on that file. Very reluctant. The people who are managing the movement of the file have furnished us with that information that every judge would like to distance themselves out away from that file. Say, hey, that one I can't manage. Hey, that one. We are wondering now, where is justice? So, as we stand today, we have no judge to handle that file. It has not been allocated to any judge. All our efforts have been in vain. We have written letters, and even today we are writing another one. Unfortunately, we are yet to get a positive response. So our call to the judiciary, please be firm, uphold the oath that you took to adjudicate on all matters, to dispense justice without fear or favor, ill will or affection, and uphold the provisions of the Constitution, particularly Article 23, which provides for civil liberties of all Ugandans whom the law presume innocent until proved otherwise. Dr. Besigye and Obedi Lutale are presumed innocent until evidence is adduced them to convict them. So we ask you kindly, expedite all the processes required to have this file allocated to a particular judge. We get a date for hearing of the bail application, and then finally Dr. Besigye and Obedi Lutale regain their freedom, their liberty. Because Dr. Besigye's health is deteriorating further. We told you is not in good health, and you also know it's a fact. It's not in dispute. Even the last time he appeared in court, Justice Singisa said, hey, take him back to jail. I wouldn't want to see somebody collapsing in my court here. So that's the situation he's in. The last time he appeared in Nakawa, he was in a wheelchair. So you can imagine a person who was wheeled back to Luzira, up to now, not being granted bail. Very, very unfortunate. We are going back to court for mention on Friday. That is this week, Friday this week, on the 7th. And we don't expect much because it's just mention. Just for court to ask how far they have gone with the investigations, because you recall the last time we appeared, when Dr. Besigye and Obedi Lutale were formally charged, they indicated they were still continuing with the investigation. So we reiterate our call. Related to that is the fact that the state is determined to have a reincarnation of the General Court Martial, to resuscitate the General Court Martial. Just wanted to assure the nation we are also determined to continue with the fight against all those maneuvers, all those machinations, all those nefarious attempts to resuscitate the defunct General Court Martial. We are determined to push that battle forward. And it's a call we understand. Please, let's continue with the solidarity we have demonstrated in the fight against the General Court Martial until we put it to where it belongs, the dump hill of history. It has to be buried. The dunghill, or rather the dung heap of history, that's where it belongs. We have to put it there. Museveni wants now to exercise it as a ghost to come and continue haunting us. Let us not give him space. A specific call now to the MPs. We have our colleague here, Dr. Kamara and others. The ball is in their court now. They should do everything possible. This should be another phase of Tojukwata Call. We need to put up a spirited fight on all fronts to ensure that the victory we registered in the Supreme Court is not washed down the drain. We need to uphold the dictates of Article 92, whose spirit and letter is very clear that Parliament shall not come up with a legislation with the intention of defeating a judgment of court. That should reverberate in the minds of all the MPs, of all Ugandans across board. We're not talking only about our own MPs here, but also the NRM MPs. They also have a duty and obligation to uphold the values and the spirit of the Constitution. So invite them, please, do not carry out a coup against the Constitution by reincarnating the General Court Martial. So, and Mr. Museveni himself, he has a duty, and his team, not to bring back a bill to amend the UPDF Act to breathe life into the dead General Court Martial. So, that is our call again to Ugandans and the MPs, and also to tell you ourselves here at the command center, we are weaving out the necessary strategies of continuing with that battle to ensure that Mr. Museveni does not bring back to life the late General Court Martial. Coming to the second issue, which is now a mind-boggling phenomena in the body politic of this country. You all know that in Uganda, we cannot have free and fair elections. If you do not subscribe to the ruling party, which is now a state party, and you are a candidate, it's a known fact that you are running against the state machinery. You are not competing against the NRM candidate. You are competing against the entire state machinery together with its coercive force apparatus. So now, they are in full swing. All guns are blazing. Mr. Museveni and his team in Kawempe, they are determined at all costs to subvert the will of the people, defeat the provisions of the Constitution, which talk about a credible, free and fair election, and declare their own candidate as the winner. So that is a fact. And what is happening right now is a precursor, what the English call a harbinger of sorts, something that heralds an event that is about to happen. Yeah, it's some kind of a curtain raiser. So more or less like a kasiki for the main function to happen. So the mayhem going on, the state orchestrated violence, the brutality, the humanization is what is going to characterize general elections in 2026. Those elections which are around the corner. This sends the signals to all Ugandans, particularly the doubting Thomases, whoever had a grain of doubt in mind that probably things could shift or there could be some changes. This is a clear signal to you, to all of us, that Museveni is always like that, because a leopard will never hide its spots. That's what he is. Now, what needs to be done? Because that's what is important. Or what do we intend to do? That's what is critical. And that's what brings us here. As you know, Katonga is a liberation center. It's a command center for liberation struggle. All of you know this. And for us, ours is to fight for justice, to fight for rule of law, good governance, and to fight for respect for human dignity across board. Unfortunately, the Kawempe by-election comes at a time when we are in a transition. We are still pursuing a transition agenda. We are undergoing some metamorphosis of sorts. We are morphing from FDC, many of you in the media world, you call us FDC Katonga, to a new outfit called PFF, People's Front for Freedom. And in People's Front for Freedom, our motto is freedom for all for freedom. Regardless of party, rather party colors, creed, tribe, whatever, it's all about respect for human dignity. That is the dictate of the Bill of Rights in Chapter 4 of our Constitution, and that's what we seek to uphold. So we are appalled by what is going on. But before I come to that, being a formation in a transition, and we are yet to get our certificate, we want to be categorical on this, that we were constrained to participate as a formation in that election, as a registered political party, because we are still in a transition. And therefore, we could not legally and officially sponsor any candidate in that election. And we want to be clear, as the formation here at Katonga, which is in a transition, we did not sponsor any candidate. We did not field any candidate. That is our position. But we take cognizance of the fact that there are multiple candidates subscribing to the opposition. And this is a matter of great concern to us, because we believe we must have a united front to deal with this particular situation. That has always been our position. It's the reason we are called the People's Front for Freedom. You know, a front, or you call it a front or front, is multifaceted, multi-pronged. So we considered it strategically desirable, and we have been pursuing this agenda of having a unified front to ensure that we get at least a single candidate to take on the junta, to take on the powers that be, to take on a candidate sponsored by the state party, that is NRM. That is the ideal. And right from inception, that has been our call. And not only call, we've made attempts at having that matter addressed. And we are not about to cease fire on this, because it serves no one's interest, save Mr. Museveni and his cronies, to have multiple candidates vying for that position against the NRM candidate. It serves Museveni's interests. So what do we intend to do? I will let you know on that front. Now back to the issue of violence. We are, as I was saying, we are appalled by the situation going on right now. The situation is dire. And we are baffled that all the state agencies are denying responsibility for what is happening. The police wash their hands out of it. Indeed, they are captives. And the other day, General Mozi was threatening even to arrest the director, CID Magambo. Said, you'll be arrested. They are captives. The Electoral Commission is equally helpless. At their meeting with all the stakeholders, including the police, they were just throwing hands in the air, literally saying, we have nothing to do. We are appealing to all of you, the state actors, non-state actors, please respect the law. That's where they ended. Parliament, the matter was brought on the floor yesterday. And the speaker was equally lamenting, the deputy speaker. Said maybe this is sponsored by people who hate government. You can imagine. Now who is going to come to the rescue of the people if all the institutions of state are just lamenting? The Electoral Commission, helpless. Parliament, lamenting. The police, they are saying, oh, the closest they came to give a hint on what is happening, they said, well, we are investigating. Can you imagine? And the people marauding around are well known. They have the banner of JAT, Joint Anti-Terrorism Force. JAT. JAT is not provided for anywhere in the laws of Uganda. It's not even a unit of the UPDF. Look at the UPDF Act and all the units they have. It's not there. For all intents and purposes, JAT is a militia. JAT is a terrorist organization. How on earth a force entrusted with upholding rule of law, to observe law and order in the country like the police force, can throw hands in the air like that? They are actually, literally, they are accomplices. They have been overrun, they have been hijacked, they have been taken over by JAT. You ask the Electoral Commission, don't you know these people? Can you imagine? You see.
Who's the gun?
Hmm? You look at these ones. They have guns which are ordinarily a monopoly of UPDF. AK-77, that's what they tell us. They have Uzi gun, actually not AK-47. Uzi gun. They are armed to the teeth. You ask it, Parliament, can't you subpoena, can't you summon the CDF? Because we want Mr. Tayebwa, the Right Honorable Tayebwa, if you indeed meant what you said, why don't you summon the CDF to come and explain this? Bahati, who was also in the house as a minister, Bahati, is he really in charge? Is your neighbor? My brother Bahati actually is my classmate. Not classmate, we are year mate. We were at in Lumumba at the same time. Now, you ask Mr. Bahati, Honorable Bahati, he was in the house, also literally crying. Said, as a government, we are not aware of what is happening. We are not responsible for this. Disowning these people. Are they from DRC? Are they from Somalia? Are they from Mars? Where are they coming from? Stop fooling us. Stop taking us for a ride. Stop taking us for buffoons. We are not. We're not idiots. This is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. You ask yourself, and this is how they have been featuring everywhere, even in the General Court Martial. You ask yourself, why are you masking? If what we are doing is lawful, why are you masking yourself? Why don't you want your face to be seen? And the law is very clear. We raised this even before the courts of law. If you are to enforce law, you have to have a name tag. You have to have your number, your force number. And you have to identify yourself and bring out the offenses people have committed. Now, hundreds of unfortunate Ugandans were arrested, actually kidnapped. Some have been arraigned before courts of law and remanded. So, do you want to convince us that a rogue force like a JAT can effect arrest and take it to courts of law? So, because they are disowning them. Bahati disowning them. The Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament disowning them. Electoral Commission disowning them, police disowning them. Now, who is commanding them? Do we know the command structure of JAT? To whom are they accountable? And lastly, if they effect arrest or they execute a kidnap or abduction, do you receive the people they have kidnapped and arraign them before courts of law, like it happened in the Kanyanya Chief Magistrates Court? Some of these people, the NUP activists, were even arraigned at night. It was coming to 9 p.m. and remanded. Totally unacceptable. So this mayhem portends chaos. It's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for total anarchy in this country. We are headed to the doldrums, I'm telling you. We are telling Ugandans we're on a precipice. We're on a cliff. We are just hanging on a cliff like this. Anytime this country is sinking deep. Anytime. So it's a clarion call to all of us under Article 3 to rise to the occasion and rescue our country. It's the reason we maintain as Katonga here, this is not a partisan cause. This cuts across. It goes beyond partisan interests. So what is happening in Kawempe is not an election. It's a battlefront now. What is going on in Kawempe is a battlefront. It is Museveni and his forces, the JAT, against the people of Uganda. And as Katonga, we stand with the people of Uganda. We can't we can't sit back and watch events as they unfold and be mere spectators. That's totally unacceptable. So we are in this together, and we are meeting our colleagues on the side of the people. We rally our forces to fight this kind of mayhem. This insanity must be fought collectively, and that is our position. So we are already in touch with our colleagues, and all we are asking of the candidates, this is not time to compete one against one another. We have seen even candidates on the opposition side hurling insults against each other. This is not the time to exchange insults. No. If anything, by the way, some of the candidates would have withdrawn right now. You can't keep campaigning when Ugandans are being brutalized like that. Which election is that? I remember in 2011, I was a candidate here for the Lord Mayorship for the first time in 2011. And when there was mayhem of that in nature, we had to force the elections to be cancelled. Had to force that. So it's high time now we stood together as a united front, as a united force. Even if it means bringing that election to a halt, we do so. Rather than just bracing, sanitary madness going on. Even if it means bringing it to a standstill, please, all the candidates, we are meeting our colleagues in all the political parties. The meetings are ongoing. And our call is that even if it means bringing that election to a halt, we do so and take on the junta, take on the bull by the horns. Because they're going to finish all of us. They are picking one by one. And you, the journalist, they are finishing all of you. Very unfortunate younger man of Top TV. You beat him like to pulp, to a vegetative state. When you look at him, you feel like shedding tears. I watched with disgust yesterday when they are mauling Mbide, Stephen Mbide of NTV, mauling him literally together with the cameraman, beating them left, right, center. Over what? So we cannot witness this kind of mayhem going on and we sit back and continue to compete against each other. This is not a competition between NUP, between PFF Katonga, between whatever FDC or what. This is a battle between Ugandans against the junta. And that's what it should be. It's high time we shelved our partisan and personal interests and put the country first. We call upon we invite all the candidates, please put the country before self. Let us rescue our motherland. So, we are finalizing all these processes, and by Friday, hopefully we shall be done. And we hope to be together with the colleagues in the struggle. We are reaching out to all of them and see how we can bring this madness to an end, jointly and collectively. So we are finalizing this, and the call is, even if we are to continue, it does no harm for some of the candidates in the opposition to rally behind a particular one. It's not too late. Of course, we are somehow late, but not too late. It is still possible to still rally behind one particular candidate if we are not to call off this election. Then we move on. So those are the efforts we are putting in as a team here at Katonga to ensure that we continue advancing the struggle. Otherwise, all of us here and those Ugandans, wherever you are, you'll be swallowed up by these ones.